This millionaire never knew his cleaning lady was saving his daughter at midnight, in the heart of Manhattan, where glimmering towers kissed the clouds. A secret lurked just beneath the polished surface of wealth. Jonathan Wells was a millionaire, living in a penthouse that dripped with luxury marble floors, priceless art, and a view that captured the heartbeat of the city. But as he indulged in the sweet oblivion of his riches, a shadow flitted through his life during the quiet hours of night. It was Lily, the cleaning lady, who wore her worn-out sneakers and a faded blue uniform like a cloak of anonymity. Every Tuesday she donned rubber gloves and armed herself with a vacuum and mop, transforming Jonathan's glamorous home into a spotless sanctuary. But beneath her humble facade lay a woman bound by a secret that could shatter Jonathan's world. One fateful night, as the clock struck midnight, the city hummed a tense lullaby. The moonlight spilled through the glass panels of the penthouse, illuminating something peculiar. Lily stood in the darkened nursery, her hands trembling as she drew back the curtains. In the crib, Emily, Jonathan's precious daughter, slept soundly, blissfully unaware of the danger that loomed. With the faintest touch, Lily turned, revealing something bright tucked beneath her uniform, a silver locket that pulsed with an otherworldly glow. Was it a trick of the light? Or was it something more sinister? Just then a chill swept through the room. The air thickened, and for a split second, the shadows twisted into grotesque shapes, dancing on the walls. Lily's heart raced as she approached the crib, her breath shallow. The locket was not just jewelry. It was a device, a magical talisman that bound her fate to Emily's survival. She had known the risks but ignored the deep-seated fear clawing at her gut. Why was she chosen for such a task? The clock's resounding chime broke the stillness, slicing through the tension like glass shattering in slow motion. Suddenly, a heavy footfall echoed from the hall. Jonathan returning home early. His familiar voice boomed, "Lily? Why are you still here?" Panic shot through her veins, and the locket's glow flickered in response, intensifying. The bedroom door creaked open, the shadows retreating as his silhouette edged into the nursery. Just then, everything shifted. A flash of movement caught Lily's eye just as Jonathan stepped across the threshold. In that instant, the locket pulsed violently. The room erupted into chaos. Dark tendrils of smoke spiraled around them, whispering secrets of danger and deceit. Jonathan's face shifted to confusion, then horror, as the walls seemed to close in. Hey, before we continue with this amazing story, I need to give you an important heads up. Many subscribers have reported that YouTube unsubscribed them without warning. Take a quick second to check the red button below to make sure you're still subscribed to the channel. I'd hate for you to miss any of the exclusive content coming soon. And while you're there, smash that like button, it really helps me out with the algorithm. Oh, and tell me in the comments, which city are you watching from? I love getting to know every amazing person who's part of this community. Your participation makes all the difference. Let's connect. The weight of the moment hung heavy as a painful truth dawned. Lily wasn't just a cleaning lady. She was the last line of defense in a battle against darkness. And Jonathan? He was forever oblivious, yet now about to stumble into a world of secrets he never wanted to face. As Lily's heart quickened, she glanced from Jonathan to Emily in the crib, a surge of protectiveness flooding through her. The stakes were too high, and as the smoke curled around them, questions blared louder than ever. What had she uncovered? And could she keep Emily safe without Jonathan ever knowing? The smoke swirled like a living entity, creeping closer, wrapping around Lily's legs and clawing at her lungs. She could barely breathe, a prickling sensation gripping her throat as dread tightened its hold. Jonathan's eyes widened, reflecting the horror that was about to unfold. This was no ordinary midnight visitation. Something far darker threatened to break into their world. "Lily, what is happening?" Jonathan's voice strained, disbelief choking him. She hesitated, torn. Trusting him could mean exposing the truth, revealing a secret meant to protect, not harm. But time was slipping away. "I can explain later," she gasped, her voice barely cutting through the swirling darkness. "Right now you need to get Emily out of here." Another pulse from the locket sent a jolt of energy vibrating through her. The noise rose, oppressive whispers swirling around them like an endless stream of forgotten memories. Shadows morphed into malicious faces, their mouths twisting in silent screams. Lily's resolve hardened. She was in this fight for Emily, and nothing would stop her. "Get out. Now." She pushed Jonathan toward the door. He stumbled back, a wall of darkness crashing against him as he fought against the tide of smoke. Emily. His eyes darted to the crib. The innocent form of his daughter lay untouched, peaceful against the chaos encircling them. With a surge of desperation, Lily lunged for Jonathan, grabbing him by the arm as he tried to move toward the crib. "We can't. It's not safe." The weight of her belief lay bare, and in that moment, he caught a glimpse of her resolve, a flicker of power racing through the locket, the source of her urgency. "What do you mean it's not safe?" Jonathan's voice trembled. He struggled against her grip. "I can't leave her." The room morphed around them, shifting in and out like a fever dream. The walls throbbed as if they were alive, closing in, daring Jonathan to step further into their game. Out of sheer instincts, Lily yanked him back, and they fell to the floor. Just as a harrowing scream echoed from the depths of the shadows, a figure emerged, dark and twisted, an abomination of nightmares. Its eyes glowed a fierce crimson, locked onto Emily's crib. It emitted a chilling laughter that resonated in the very marrow of Lily's bones. All at once, she understood the locket did more than bind her to Emily. It marked her a protector against this creature of the night. "Help me." The words tumbled from her lips, a plea as much as a command. Jonathan, finally grasping the urgency, instinctively moved into action, but fear still clouded his mind. "What are you?" he breathed, casting a glance to the apparition. Lily stood, her spine straightened with determination. "I'm your daughter's protector. That thing is after her." With a burst of energy, the locket flared. Light erupted. It pierced the chaos, illuminating the nursery like a beacon, pushing back the encroaching darkness. The creature let out a furious howl, disoriented by the sudden brilliance. "Now, Jonathan, we fight," Lily shouted, her hand gripping the locket, channeling energy to it. The shadows shrieked and writhed, and Jonathan instinctively grabbed a nearby lamp, brandishing it like a weapon. "What do I do?" His panic turned to fury as the reality set in. The luxuries of his world meant nothing in the face of this raw terror. "Focus on Emily. Protect her. We won't let it take her." As if fueled by her words, Jonathan charged forward, confronting the darkness with newfound bravery. A clash echoed throughout the nursery as shadows roared and fought back. Lily squared her shoulders, knowing this was just the beginning. If they could push this darkness away, perhaps they could uncover the truth buried in reality. But the strength of darkness was real, and as they battled, it became clear that the fight was only beginning. Each moment bled into the next, uncertainty looming large over them like a thundercloud, and somewhere in the corners of the nursery, lurking beyond the smoke, a chilling laughter echoed what awaited them when the chaos settled. Could their fragile alliance withstand the rising tide of evil? The air vibrated with tension as the bright light from the locket clashed against the looming darkness. Shadows twisted and contorted, relentlessly pressing toward Lily and Jonathan. Every heartbeat felt like a countdown, thick with dread. The laughter of the creature echoed, wickedly piercing through the chaos. "Keep fighting," Lily urged, the locket pulsing with every word. It was more than just a protective talisman. It resonated with a power she barely understood. There was a deep well of energy that surged through her, and for Emily, she would tap into every ounce of it. Jonathan swung the lamp with wild enthusiasm, smashing it against the shifting darkness. For a moment the shadows recoiled, shrieking as though the light had burnt them. But they were relentless. They rallied, creeping back together, fusing dark tendrils into monstrous shapes. "Are you okay?" Lily yelled, concern ripping through her focus as Jonathan stumbled, a shadow catching his leg momentarily. He pulled himself free, but the fear in his eyes mirrored her own. He nodded, though doubt colored his face. "I'm fine, but we need to get Emily out. We can't keep fighting like this. Trust me. Emily's in danger, but leaving isn't an option. We're stronger together." Her voice cut through the last threads of his hesitation. With each pulse from the locket, Lily felt memories seep into her, past echoes of the locket's purpose, and they rushed to her like a tide. She recalled whispers from her grandmother, tales of protectors and ancient battles. These shadows sought to feed on the light of innocence, a wicked hunger. Only they could stand against this horror. The creature lunged, its monstrous claws reaching for Emily. Heart racing, Lily met its gaze, daring, defiant. She called upon the light within the locket, allowing it to swell, becoming an extension of her will. "Get away from her!" she bellowed, her voice echoing through the nursery, breaking the hold of terror that gripped her. With all her strength, she thrust the locket towards the creature. A beam of hot light exploded forth, pushing back the shadows, scattering them like dry leaves in a storm. It shrieked, momentarily disoriented, and Lily seized the opportunity. "Jonathan! Now!" She took a step forward, emboldened by urgency. "Grab her!" Jonathan rushed to the crib, pulling Emily into his embrace. Relief washed over him, but the shadows had already started to regroup, ready to retaliate. Lily felt the intensity rise. A flicker of fear ignited within her. "We need to find a way to banish it." "Right," Jonathan panted, cradling Emily like a precious jewel. "But how? What do we do?" The soft cooing of Emily cut through the noise, grounding Lily. In that small moment of hope, she remembered the locket's full potential. It held memories of countless protectors, each sacrifice woven into its core. With all her might, she concentrated on that bond, the love that connected them, the legacy of protection that ran through her family. The shadows roiled in confusion as light filled the room, but still they pressed forward, feeding on the very fear of the moment. They craved the darkness that thrived on the agony of failure, seeking to crush the love within this small family. "Lily, it's coming back!" Jonathan shouted, panic laced across his face. The creature was closing in, preparing to attack again. "Believe Jonathan. We are stronger than this," she yelled, tapping into the energy of her lineage, a surge of faith flooding her veins. As the creature lunged once more, fury radiated from the locket, an explosive light bursting forth like the dawn breaking through the night. The shadows shrieked, recoiling harshly, but something deep within her told her this wasn't over. What would it take to finally drive the darkness away? Could they truly banish this horror? Or was it merely the beginning of a much darker journey? The creature's roar echoed, a raw guttural sound that sent chills racing down Jonathan's spine. As it surged forward, the light from the locket illuminated the nursery, casting the monstrous figure into stark relief. Its eyes glowed a fiery red, reflecting a rage that clawed at the edges of reality. Lily's heart raced. "We can't let it get any closer." She felt an ancient urge wash over her, a pull toward the whispers of her ancestors. They had fought against the shadows before. Now it was her turn. "Emily, hold on tight." Jonathan gripped the baby tighter, his breaths quickening. The need to protect her surged within him, a primal instinct that ignited his fear into fierce determination. The shadows gathered, swirling into a tempestuous cyclone, hungry and aggressive. They coiled like snakes, seeking a gap in their defenses as they lunged. Lily felt the air thicken. Each breath was strained, filled with dread, but she couldn't falter. "Focus on love," Lily shouted as the locket pulsed in her hand, brightening once again. Memories of laughter, warmth and light enveloped her like a protective halo. "Love is the key." With that, she dove deeper into the locket's energy, summoning the posthumous strength from generations past. "You want to consume us?" she challenged, her voice steady despite the rising panic. "You'll never take what's ours." She directed the beam of light, pouring every ounce of her essence into it. The shadows hissed, recoiling from the brilliance. They were powerful, yes, but the light of their love felt like a blazing fire against the storm. Jonathan joined her, lifting the lamp once more, brandishing it like a sword. "Together!" he yelled, and it was as if their voices melded into one unnaturally strong note, a harmony that resonated in the very core of the darkness. Suddenly, the creature lunged, its claws aiming for Emily, and panic clawed at Jonathan's throat. "Not my daughter!" With an instinctive move, he threw the lamp directly at the monster, hoping to distract it long enough for Lily's light to do its work. The lamp shattered, bright shards exploding into the darkness. The creature shrieked, stumbling back, its form flickering between solidity and shadow. Wheezing heavily, Jonathan struggled to keep his eyes on the beast, furious energy coursing through him. "Lily! Now!" he yelled again, urgency laced thick in his throat. Lily stepped forward, the locket glowing fiercely in her palms. "With me!" She focused. She needed to unleash everything they had together, united in their fight against this darkness. They poured their love, their fear, and all their hopes into a singular burst. The light exploded outward, fierce and overwhelming. For a moment it felt like the very air crackled with electric energy. The creature roared one last time, a mixture of fury and desperation, before the light engulfed it completely. Then, silenced as the last echoes of the creature died away, the nursery fell into a heavy stillness. Jonathan and Lily exchanged glances, breathless, adrenaline still pulsing through their veins. They could hardly process what had happened, the tension still hanging in the air like fog. But as the light dimmed, a chilling whisper reached their ears, unmistakable in the oppressive quiet. The shadows are not gone, not yet. Fear swept over them both, closing their throats like a vice. What did that mean? Were they truly safe? Jonathan held Emily closer, confusion flooding his features. What now? We can't just sit here. I don't know, Lily replied, her voice barely above a whisper, trembling with uncertainty. But we need to prepare for whatever comes next. Something darker was on the horizon, a looming specter they were not yet ready to face. What had they truly unleashed, and how would they ever stop it? An unease settled in as they tried to catch their breaths. A new battle waiting just out of reach. The silence in the nursery loomed like a heavy shroud, oppressive and full of unspoken dread. Jonathan's heart thudded painfully against his ribs as he peered into the darkness, half expecting claws to re-emerge from the shadows. The air, once filled with energy and determination, now felt dense with uncertainty. Lily's fingers tightened around the locket. The fading glow reminded her of how fragile their victory truly was. We need to find out what that whisper meant, she said, her voice harsh in the quiet. How? Jonathan's words spilled out like a desperate plea. He glanced at Emily, safe in his arms, but the weight of their looming threat was heavy. We can't stay here. What if it's waiting for us to let our guard down? As if in response, an icy breeze danced across the room, sending a shiver down Lily's spine. She felt a creeping sense of foreboding. Maybe the locket can guide us. It holds the strength of our past, our ancestors. Jonathan looked down at Emily, his resolve building. Let us use it. If it helped us before, we have to try again. They stepped closer together, forming a protective barrier around the baby. Light flickered anew in the locket as they concentrated their thoughts, summoning the flickers of warmth and love they had fought to preserve. Show us what to do, Lily whispered, her voice trembling. The glow brightened, pulsing rhythmically like a heartbeat. Then words emerged, a soft cacophony of voices just beyond the threshold of hearing, each one a whisper of guidance. Find the heart of darkness. Face your fears. The message tugged at Lily, a haunting melody of her ancestors urging them on. But what did it mean? Where was the heart of darkness they had to confront? Suddenly the walls around them groaned, shifting, bending in ways that felt both deliberate and alive. Jonathan's eyes widened. Did you feel that? Before she could respond, the shadows coalesced, twisting into new forms. Ghostly figures loomed from the edges of darkness, faces twisted in pain and despair. They were once lost souls lingering, lost in their own agony. Anger rippled through Jonathan. What do you want from us? His voice boomed defiantly, but he felt his insides twist. An instinctual cowardice clashed with his desire to protect his family. One of the figures stepped closer, its features sharpening into a mask of sorrow. Release us, it pleaded, a voice thin and wispy. You must confront the truth. A sacrifice must be made. Sacrifice? Lily whispered, the word lodged in her throat like a stone. What kind of sacrifice? A cold wave of fear washed over Jonathan. Not Emily. Please no. The ghostly figure shook its head slowly, the sorrow deepening. No one is safe until the heart of darkness is destroyed. And in doing so, something you cherish most must be given up. Emotions collided within Lily. They were being asked to give up their greatest treasure, their little girl. She tightened her hold on the locket, so much at stake. This can't be the only way. The figure merely stared, its eyes heavy with acknowledge and empathy. As tension thickened like fog pressing in from all sides, an understanding began to form in Jonathan's heart. What if we choose to confront this darkness together? What if we face it with love? Lily's breath caught. Could love truly drive away the shadows? Would it be enough? In that moment of uncertainty, the nursery shifted once again. The air thrummed with chaotic energy. Shadows began coiling tighter, whispering sinister promises. Do you really want to know the truth? The ghostly voice echoed around them, dripping with anticipation. Jonathan and Lily stood frozen, grappling with their fear, uncertainty casting a veil over their minds. The shadows were alive, eager for the answer. What would they choose? Would love triumph? Or would they succumb to the darkness lurking within their hearts? The nursery turned cold, pulse quickening. Only one truth remained. Some sacrifices were inevitable. The tension hung thick like a balloon ready to pop. Jonathan clenched his jaw, determination pushing back against the rising tide of fear. He refused to let the dark figures unnerve him. If we head into the shadows with our hearts full, maybe just maybe we can change our fate. Lily's fingertips brushed the locket, its warm pulse syncing with her racing heart. Together, she said, her voice steadying despite the chaos surrounding them. We have to believe in something greater than fear. As one, they held Emily closer between them, the soft coo of their baby grounding them. The light from the locket flared brighter, illuminating the nursery for the first time. For a brief moment the shadows retreated, revealing flickering memories etched in the walls: love, laughter, and unity. It reminded them of happier days, igniting a flicker of hope. Find the heart of darkness, Jonathan repeated, swallowing hard. What does that even mean? Suddenly the shadows recoiled violently, shrieking in discordant unison. The heart is not a place. It is a choice. A voice thundered from the depths, reverberating through their bones. An icy fear tingled along Jonathan's spine. What did that mean for them, choosing to face whatever lay ahead? Lily stepped forward, shaking but resolute. What choice? What sacrifice? From the darkness the sorrowful specter stepped closer once more, its form becoming clearer. You must give your pain a name. Only then can you face the truth within. You cling to fear, you must tear it free. Jonathan felt as if the ground had dropped beneath him. What pain? I don't understand. Lily's mind raced. The locket glimmered, its glow shifting between memories. The pain of losing someone we love, she said softly. Emily, in that fragile moment, clarity pierced through the haze. Embraced in the warmth of recollection, they began to glimpse what they had been shying away from all along. With a burning urgency, Lily whispered, what if it's not just about sacrifice? It's about acceptance of the fear of the past, of loving Emily enough to face the truth of our own shortcomings. Jonathan's heart raced. You mean we have to acknowledge our fears, our failures? Take a step into the darkness and own them? Yes. Lily breathed, her voice trembling with urgency and hope. Only then can we reach the heart of darkness and not lose anything more we hold dear. The air hummed as they turned sideways, retracing their steps back into the ominous shadows. All the while, Jonathan felt the intensity grow. The locket glimmered as if encouraging them to embrace the unknown. The ghostly figures shifted and writhed, yet they made no move to strike. They waited, eager spectators of this newfound resolution. Jonathan's heart pounded against his chest. Let us show them what love can do. Together they stepped deeper into the darkness, facing their fears head-on. Love surged through them like a desperate fire, illuminating every shadowy corner, every lingering doubt. Emily, Jonathan called softly, steadied by the weight of his daughter's presence. We love you and we want to let go. The whispers of the dark morphed into frenzied cries. Shadows spun tighter around them, but Lily stood firm, face lifted and resolute. We accept that love demands sacrifices, but we will not be broken. With those final words echoing in the suffocating gloom, the shadows recoiled, momentarily startled by their defiance. Rolling waves of darkness seemed to churn now, distorting the room in chaotic patterns. Jonathan felt the locket tethering them, shimmering with newfound power. Here we go, Lily. But just then a chilling laughter pierced the air, a sound that transcended time and space, echoing promises of despair. Do you really think love can protect you? Their hearts sunk. What if the darkness had come to something they couldn't confront? As that voice taunted them, the shadows surged forward, looming larger and more menacing. What lies deeper in the heart of darkness? Jonathan's whispered question hung heavy, a plea for guidance amid the chaos. The nursery trembled under the weight of their confrontation, a battle brewing that would tug at their souls like a relentless tide. What followed next could change everything. The shadows gathered, swirling like a storm, thick and suffocating. Jonathan and Lily stood their ground, their hearts racing in harmony as they clutched little Emily, her small frame radiating the love that fueled their courage. The chilling laughter faded to echoes, replaced by a sinister whisper that licked at their resolve. Love cannot shield you from your truths. Shut up, Jonathan shouted, his voice raw, breaking the terrifying silence. It felt empty, just words swallowed by the abyss. But surrender wasn't an option. Not now. The specter floated closer, its hollow eyes locking onto theirs. You seek the heart of darkness, yet you cower in the shadows of your minds. Speak your pain. Only then can you unearth what binds you. Lily's breath hitched. They danced around their fears for too long. This was no mere riddle. This was a reckoning. Jonathan, she whispered, tears brimming. We need to embrace the hurt. With a deep breath, Jonathan closed his eyes, feeling the pressure of their realities weighing on him. It's the loss of my mother, he stammered, trembling. The regrets I buried when she slipped away. I didn't want to face any of it. And Lily's voice shook. I lost my sister. I was so afraid I couldn't protect her, and it haunts me. I keep feeling like Emily is slipping away too. A ripple through the shadows caused a vortex of cries that filled the air like arrows. The shadows thickened, but a burst of light flickered from the locket, giving shape to the sound. Images of happier times flooded back. It was as if their memories fought against the oppressive darkness. All those moments, we should have cherished them more. Jonathan shouted. You chose truth over despair, didn't you, Mom? I'm choosing it now. I'm not running anymore. Lily declared, her eyes fierce, fueled by the memories of her sister's laughter of love imbued with hope. The moment their confessions hung in the air like mist, the chilling specter jerked back, disoriented. The shadows morphed, buckling under the weight of their truths. The weakness you feared is actually your strength. The darkness shivered, undulating violently, revealing an opening, a sliver of light beckoning them. Amid the chaos, Jonathan caught sight of a shattered memory hanging in the darkness, a flickering image of his mother, a comforting presence amidst wild storms. Take it, Jonathan, Lily urged, her voice slicing through the noise. Embrace it. Transfixed, he stepped forward, the locket glowing with urgency. But just as he reached out, a tendril of shadow lashed out, slicing through the light, ensnaring Jonathan's arm. Panic gripped him. This was the darkness fighting to engulf him once more. Lily, he gasped. She moved instinctively, grabbing the locket, pouring her love into it, their shared pain igniting a fire within. You can't take him. Not when we finally see. The light expanded, pushing against the encroaching shadows, swirling with promise and defiance, transforming the nursery once more. As the light surged, a voice deep within them whispered, only when you accept your scars can you truly heal your heart. With renewed vigor, Jonathan bellowed, let go of me. We are stronger together. He felt the shadows tighten, but Lily's hand clenched his tighter, igniting sparks of warmth within his very core. Emboldened by each other, they pulled on their connection, strengthening the bond that would allow them to face whatever awaited. Suddenly, the nursery erupted in spectral shrieks, a lamentation rising as the shadows writhed in agony. With a force fueled by their acceptance, Jonathan and Lily pushed forward, ready to plunge into the heart of darkness together. Emily, stay with us, they called, uniting their determination with one final burst. The shadows began to fracture, threatening to unleash a force they could barely comprehend. They had come so far, but the danger was far from over. What lies ahead? Jonathan panted, his resolve unwavering. We need to know what we'll face next. As the swirling shadows began to break apart, a bright light shone from within the darkness, revealing an ominous figure waiting within the churning center. Jonathan's stomach dropped. Do you think this is over? A familiar voice echoed, sweet yet sinister. We're just getting started. The white-hot flash of fear surged through him. What waited behind that light could change everything he thought he knew. The luminous figure stepped forward, emerged from the heart of darkness like a reluctant storm. A chilling laugh echoed, sending shivers through Jonathan and Lily. Did you really think it would be that simple? It was a warped version of Jonathan's mother, her form blending with shadows, eyes glinting like daggers as they surveyed the trio. Lily trembled. No, it can't be, you're not her. Oh, but I am, the apparition whispered, her tone sugary yet suffused with malice. I am your greatest fear, the truth you've buried deep within, and I know everything about you. Enough, Jonathan yelled, rage coursing through him. His heart raced, not only from fear but from an igniting purpose. You're a lie, a reflection of our pain. You can't control us anymore. But the figure merely smiled, the corners of her mouth twisting unnaturally. Pain is a powerful motivator, Jonathan. Embrace it. It's what binds you all. A wave of shadows rolled over them, grasping at Jonathan and Lily, attempting to crush their newfound strengths. He felt it tighten around his chest, threatening to snuff out the flicker of hope they had ignited. Lily, hold on. Jonathan cried. He could feel their connection waning under the pressure. Stay strong, remember love. She shouted back. A sound so pure it broke through the shadows momentarily. The locket began to glow brighter, pushing against the suffocating darkness, filling the air with warmth that cut through the encroaching despair. Love? You think love can save you? The specter hissed and the energy prickled. Love is nothing but a chain igniting the flames of sorrow. It's the light that shows the way, Jonathan said, stepping closer to Lily, who was now holding the locket aloft like a shield. The shadows shrank back, howling, spitting their venom into the air. It's ironic, isn't it? The very thing you used to combat me is made from your own weakness. The figure floated closer, leaning in with a twisted smile. What will happen when those memories fade? When I return? Return? You will never return, Lily said fiercely, as she pulled Jonathan even closer. We'll keep fighting together, and no fear can take that away. As their eyes locked, an unearthly strength coursed through them. Love, grief, the sweetness of memory, and the painful acceptance of loss merged into one. The darkness roiled in agony, the specter's distorted grin faltering. You cannot sever what once was. Your wounds seal you. But they refused to relent, shouting in unison, we choose our scars. We choose each other. The locket erupted with a surge of light, radiant and powerful, drowning out the shadows that loomed. Shapes shot out like beams of sun through a storm. Their truth shimmered, illuminating the room and staggering the specter back as it writhed helplessly, shrinking under the onslaught of their combined force. But before the light engulfed it entirely, the shadowy figure hissed, you may have won this round, but you're still not free of me. I'll be with you always. With a final cry, the dark form shattered like glass beneath the brilliance of their resolve, echoes of its laughter fading to silence. Jonathan collapsed to his knees, panting, relief washing over him. Lily dropped beside him, their fingers intertwined. Emily's sleepy eyes blinked open, confused yet safe, a gentle light surrounding her. The nursery transformed around them, with remnants of the darkness now replaced by soft walls painted in warm pastels, the air sweet and inviting. Did we do it? Jonathan breathed, looking toward the doorway ahead. But a feeling of dread still lingered. The air had changed, thick with something unsaid. What lay beyond that doorway was yet unknown. A shadow lurking just out of sight, waiting for its moment. We need to keep moving, Lily urged, her voice wavering. Or it could all come back. As they stood, the door creaked open slowly, revealing a dark corridor adorned with memories left unclaimed. Do you think we're truly free now? Jonathan asked, uncertainty coating his words. Before they could contemplate their next step, the walls whispered, you've only scratched the surface. The real battle lies ahead. Was this truly the end, or merely the beginning of something darker? The corridor loomed ahead, endless and dark, a gaping mouth inviting them deeper into the unknown. Each step they took echoed like a heart pounding in the silence. A chill crept up Jonathan's spine as he felt a tightening in his chest, the shadows still whispering behind him. Were they truly safe? Emily shuffled between them, rubbing her eyes. Where are we? She asked, voice small and fragile. Just a bit farther, Lily reassured. But her voice shook as if she too was unsure. Jonathan pushed a hand through his hair, frustration rising in him. We defeated it, didn't we? The shadows don't control us anymore. Maybe not, Lily replied softly, but the darkness, it leaves marks. Wounds don't just vanish. Suddenly, a chill swept through the air as the walls shifted. The pastels dulled, colors twisting into grays and blacks, suffocating their brave hope. Hands grasped at them from every corner, tendrils of darkness laced with the suffocating scent of despair. Jonathan felt a knot form in his stomach. Keep moving. Just keep moving, he shouted, pulling Emily along. The fear of what lurked in the shadows spurred him forward, adrenaline surging. Lily took a deep breath, nodding resolutely, you're right. We can't let the darkness in. As they moved deeper, The corridor began revealing doors on either side. Each door pulsated with a low thrum, shadows seeping from beneath them like restless spirits. The sounds were a mix of whispers and urgent cries, memories clawing at the edges of their minds. This is where they hide the lost ones, Emily whispered, her voice barely audible. Aren't we supposed to save them? Jonathan turned sharply to her. What do you mean? She pointed, tears glistening in her eyes as she gazed at a door marked with an old, peeling label bearing the name Hope. I hear them begging. Don't listen, Jonathan urged, fear pooling in his chest. But something in Emily's expression stilled him. She didn't just see, she felt. But what if they need our help? Lily interjected, her brow furrowed with indecision. The hall darkened further, shadows lunging their way, testing their resolve, pressing against them like a weight. This is a trap, Jonathan insisted. We can't risk it. We need to escape. Yet Emily stepped closer to the door, drawn to it. What if it's not a trap? What if they're waiting for us? Emily, please, Jonathan begged, the desperation thick in his voice. We can't lose you. Not to a sharp cry echoed through the corridor, piercing the air. An agonizing sound that chilled Jonathan to the bone. The walls shivered, pulling them closer to despair. Lily's eyes widened. We can't ignore this. We have to be brave. No, Jonathan shouted, pushing against the fear gripping him. We don't know what's behind those doors. It could be worse than anything we've faced. But the door labeled Hope began to glow in response, flickering as if it had a pulse, calling to them. Inside, faint silhouettes danced, shadows with shapes that felt painfully familiar. Lily's breath wavered, the darkness wrapping tighter around them. I think we have to try. Every instinct screamed for them to run. Yet Jonathan felt the pull of the door, the whispers warming his skin. Here was a chance to save others. His heart pounded in opposition to his fear. We can't put Emily at risk. We can't let the darkness take her too. But the cries grew louder, urging them to make a choice. Please, Emily whimpered. With a newfound determination and no other way, they stepped toward the door, ready to face whatever lay ahead, only to be met with an overwhelming wave of memories that threatened to consume them whole. As the door swung open, the light within spilled out in a brilliant burst, and their fate hung in the balance. Would they rescue lost souls, or would they become the next whispers echoing through the shadows? The moment had come, and there was no turning back. The moment the door swung wide, brilliant light enveloped them, pushing against the shadows that had haunted their every step. Jonathan felt the warmth wash over him like a bath of radiant energy, soothing and powerful. Yet still, the remnants of fear clung to his heart like a stubborn fog. Stay close, he urged, wrapping an arm protectively around Emily as they stepped inside. The room was vast, a sanctuary of shimmering light filled with countless memories swirling like specters. Each flicker revealed moments frozen in time. Laughter, tears, and whispers of long-lost hopes. It was a vivid gallery of everything that had been buried, so much light, yet so overwhelming. Jonathan blinked against the brightness, shivering slightly as tendrils of darkness recoiled at the barrier created by the warmth. Is this hope? Emily whispered, her tiny voice tinged with awe. Lily reached out, brushing her fingers against the glowing walls. Think so. But as they ventured further in, a soft murmur surrounded them, rising like a chorus that tugged at Jonathan's heart. At first he thought he heard familiar voices, echoes of people he had lost, familiar yet twisted by despair. Help us, save us, the words wove through the air like a haunting melody. Jonathan, what is that? Lily asked, concern deepening her eyes as she turned to him. Their trust in each other felt like a lifeline. They're calling for help, he replied, each syllable sharp with anxiety. A figment of a woman appeared amid the light, her form fragile yet striking. You must choose, she said, her expression gravely serious. The heart of darkness leads to salvation, but it comes at a steep price. Will you sacrifice your hope for the chance to rescue others? The air thickened like molasses as reality set in. What does that mean? Jonathan felt as if the words were dredged from the depths of his soul. You must turn the light of your hope into strength, the apparition replied. But the light reveals the truth. What burdens do you carry? Jonathan's heart raced. He looked at the warmth surrounding them, the laughter radiating from each memory, and the horrifying shadows waiting just on the fringes. But if hope is meant to protect and bind us, why would I willingly give it up? The figure hesitated, then smiled sadly. Hope can be powerful, but it can also hold you captive. The only way to banish the darkness is to confront the pain you've buried. I can't, Jonathan shouted, fear and love clashing in his chest. I can't lose her. I can't. Then came a piercing scream from the darkness beyond. The horror twisted in Jonathan's stomach, panic kicking at his heels. Emily, hold on. Stay with me, he cried, pulling her closer. Please, the apparition interjected gently. This moment is about choice. You must acknowledge what is buried deep inside. With shuddering breaths, Jonathan looked back at the swirling light, each memory, a precious piece of a life intertwined with love. And yet, an abyss stretched behind him, dark and suffocating, the very embodiment of his greatest fear. Lily, he turned, his voice now laden with emotion. What if confronting this darkness means going through the pain we buried? The grief I've held onto, it could take me away from you. We are strong together, Jonathan, she affirmed, her hand warm against his. We can face what lies in the darkness, but we need to accept loss as part of love. We've been fighting for Emily and each other. Overwhelmed by their choices, Jonathan's determination bloomed. If the sacrifices we make allow us to keep Emily safe, if they let us fight for hope, I would do anything. Lily nodded resolutely, a shared understanding radiating between them. They intertwined their fingers over the locket, the pulse stretching between them with newfound urgency. Then together they stepped toward the looming darkness that lurked just on the edges of the bright room, each step holding the collective strength of love, fear, and acceptance. We choose hope, Lily stated, voice firm and unwavering. The darkness recoiled, tendrils flickering as the walls of light pulsed. You dare confront what lies within. A voice hissed from the shadows, mocking yet laden with malice. Together they spoke, we're not afraid of you. The shadows exploded forward, a whirlpool of anger, but met the combined force of their light, their love burned fiercely. As they fought, a tumultuous battle of emotions unspooled within Jonathan, a wild storm of fear and love. Each confrontation with the lurking darkness peeled back layers, exposing raw wounds, loss, regret, neglect, the painful truths he had clutched tightly. Behind the rippling darkness he could feel the essence of his mother, the love suffused with sorrow, pulling at the edges of recognition he had buried long ago. I'm sorry, Mom, Jonathan cried out, the sorrow breaking free like a dam. I failed you when I shut you out. As if responding to the truth, the encroaching darkness wailed, thrashing wildly against the strength of their light. Your love is a weakness, it shrieked. No, Lily countered, stepping forth. Our love is our strength. It binds us to those we've lost and lifts us toward hope. With every word, each memory surged forth. The laughter of Emily, the echoes of a life filled with joy and shared moments that span generations. It became clear. Their light could vanquish shadows, but they had to let go of the pain clinging to their souls. Accept the grief, Lily urged Jonathan, and let the memories guide you. With every ounce of fear released, the shadows buckled, desperation finally gripping them in earnest. The strength of the locket surged against the darkness like a tidal wave. It isn't about losing hope, whispered the fading figures in a chorus. It's about embracing the truth. Sacrifice brings strength. With renewed conviction, Jonathan roared, we sacrifice our fear for love. We reject your hold. The light erupted, bathing the corridor in warmth, chasing darkness to the furthest corners. At that moment, every shadow screeched, chaos and brilliance crashed together until the very fabric of darkness fractalized into bright, scintillating shards that shimmered in the glory of acceptance. And then silence. They stood in the vast expanse of light, breathless and whole, their connection forged stronger than before. I can't believe we did that, Jonathan breathed, glancing down at Emily, who smiled with sleepy wonder. It was love that guided us, Lily murmured, resting her head against Jonathan's shoulder. Yet beyond them, in the quiet aftermath, something still stirred, a soft shimmer lingering, a shadow of caution reminding them that the journey was far from over. Will there be more fights? Emily asked, blinking sleepily. That's part of it, Jonathan replied, his heart both heavy and resolute. But remember, Emily, we will face them together, always together. With that promise once forged, they took the first steps into the light, hand in hand, ready for whatever awaited them next, and knowing, without a doubt, that love would always be their greatest power. As they departed, the walls of light whispered their harmony, a promise lingering above, a reminder that the struggle of life mirrored the very fabric of love. Ever present, resilient, and forever binding. Now it's your turn. Feel the emotions? You need to subscribe now for more captivating stories. Smash that like button to support our journey through more incredible tales. Flood the comments with your thoughts. What do you think awaits Jonathan, Lily, and little Emily next? And don't wait even one more second. Share this video with at least 5 friends who need to join us on this adventure. Your connection matters. Be part of our family today.